algebraic fraction. Okay. In that, what
Yeah.
you have? You have the dividing of the polynomials by the normal algebraic method. Second is your factor theorem. Third is your remainder theorem. I hope you're aware with this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So your polynomials are something which has positive index. So if you have an index which is 1 by 2 or a negative index or which is down, they are not considered as polynomials. When you're dividing your polynomial, that means we're talking about the x cube part. Okay. If you're dividing with x minus 3 and if you're getting a remainder that is 0, what does this mean?
It is a factor.
If I get a remainder that is x minus 3, if I divide this equation by x minus 3 and I get 0, that means x minus 3 is a factor. Okay, x minus 3 is one factor of this polynomial, and what would be the root?
X is equal to 3.
The root will be x is equal to 3. Sometimes you get confused with the roots, so try to equate it with 0. Now, when you're doing this long algebraic method, what do you do? Come on, tell me.
First, we divide the first term, which
Hmm.
is x cubed in this case, by the first term of the thing we are dividing the equation with,
So you're
which in
dividing.
this case is x.
Okay.
So x cubed divided by x will give us x squared, and we'll
Hmm.
write it on the up part,
That's the quotient.
quotient, yeah.
Yeah, then.
Then we'll multiply
Hmm.
the quotient with x minus 3, which is
Hmm.
going to be x cubed minus 3x squared.
Hmm. And then you write it.
Yeah.
Then
And then for we'll just subtract both of the
change the
terms.
signs of the bottom term.
Yeah, we'll change the signs of the bottom
Then you
terms.
cut it and you get this and you take the next term down.
Yeah.
Then how you get the next term of your quotient?
Then we'll do the same steps again. So first term, which in this case is going to be 5x squared, divided by x, which will give us 5x. And then we could just multiply 5x with x minus 3, which will give us 5x squared minus 15x. And then we change the signs, which will give us minus 2x. Then we bring down the 6.
Okay, fine. So when I'm dividing x cube plus 2x square minus 17x plus 6 with x minus 3. Okay, that means x and my remainder is 0. So x minus 3 is one factor and this will give me more two factors, correct?
Yes.
Solving this will give me more two factors. Okay, when I solve this and I find b square minus 4ac, then what we get? This is called what?
Uh, the
This is called the discriminant.
yeah, the discriminant.
This is called the discriminant. Okay, uh, having a discriminant equal to 0, greater than 0 or less than 0 tells us something. What does it tell us?
If the discriminant, which is b square minus 4ac, is greater than 0, it means it has two roots. If the
Okay,
discriminant is equal to 0, it means it has only one root. And if it's less than 0, it means it has no roots.
so if it has two root means what?
B square minus 4ac is greater than 0.
Okay, that means the roots that will touch the circle, it will touch it
2 points.
in 2 points. There is a question over here that 3x4 minus 8x cube plus 10x square minus 3x minus 25. When it is divided by x plus 1, I'm getting a remainder as minus 1.
Yeah,
What does this mean?
that the root is minus 1.
X plus 1 is not a factor.
Yeah.
Okay, it means that x plus 1 is not a factor. Now, when I talk about the factor theorem, okay, what does the factor theorem tell? I have ax minus b and cx minus d, and fx is my
Yeah,
polynomial. Okay, if this is a factor, ax minus b and cx minus d is a factor. What does it mean?
that it the both they both will be equal to 0.
Okay, if it is a factor, that means ax minus b is going to be 0. I say it's a factor, it means that ax minus b is equal to 0. So when in this f of x, you will substitute x is equal to b by a. Do you know how I got this x equal to b by a?
Mm, yeah, miss.
Okay, so I just made x the subject. So x is equal to b by a if this is a root. Okay, and I substitute this in f of x, then I will get the answer as 0. Are you with me?
Yes.
I'm given that f of x is equal to 3, 2x minus 1, and x plus 2.
Mm.
What does this mean?
It means that the roots of this
What are the
are
factors?
factors 1 by 2 and minus 2.
1 by 2 is the root. Remember that. The
Mm.
linear expression is a factor. So 2x minus 1 is a factor, x plus 2 is a factor.
Okay.
Root will be 1 by 2 and minus 2.
Mm.
Okay. If I substitute f 1 by 2 in f of x and I get a 0, that means it is correct. So what is roots? Roots is the value that when you substitute in the polynomial, you get the answer as 0. I hope you're with me.
Yes.
If ax minus b is a factor, can you give me the root?
X is equal to b divided by a.
X is equal to b divided by a. If bx plus c is a factor, can you give me the root?
Minus c divided by b.
Minus c divided by b. So you should clearly know to distinguish between a root and a factor. This is all there in the factor theorem. We have the remainder theorem. What is then the remainder theorem?
Remainder theorem?
Remainder theorem. I have a polynomial. Can you see this polynomial over here? That is x cube minus 20x plus 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I will be given some values and tell whether it is a factor or no. You see in the first part, I'm substituting x is equal to 4. When I am substituting x is equal to 4 in my equation, you see I'm getting a remainder.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a remainder, that means x minus 4 is not a factor.
Okay.
Okay. I have x
Mm.
plus 2. So in this equation, what should I substitute?
Minus 2.
X is equal to minus 2. If I substitute x is equal to minus 2 in this equation and I do not get a remainder, what does this mean?
It is a factor.
It is a
It
factor.
is a root.
Plus 2 is a factor and x is equal to minus 2 is a root.
Yeah.
In the remainder theorem, you just have to simply see whether you're getting a remainder or not. You substitute the value of the root in the equation. When they tell you to find a remainder using remainder theorem, so you substitute the value of your root in your equation. If you get remainder 0, that means it is a root. If you do not get the remainder 0, that means it is not a root. Are you with me?
Yes.
I have been given this quadratic equation and they are telling us that this quadratic equation, when it is divided by x minus 2, okay, when it is divided by x minus 2, I get an answer of x minus 2 into ax square minus bx plus c plus r. What is r?
Remainder?
Remainder. Okay, so if you have to express it, the solution of that equation, so it is x minus 2 multiplied by the quotient plus the remainder.
Okay.
Okay, also one more thing to note, that you can use the remainder theorem, okay, only for linear expressions. If I have 6x4 plus 3x cube minus 19x minus 5x plus 15, you cannot use the remainder theorem.
Why?
You can use the remainder theorem only for cubic and quadratic.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise you cannot use the remainder theorem. When they tell you find the remainder using algebraic division, then you have to do this method only.
Okay.
If they tell you find the remainder using the remainder theorem, what method are you going to apply?
The substituting in the
Substituting
values.
x is equal to 4 in this equation.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Okay. Yeah.
To get a remainder, they want the remainder only using the remainder theorem. With me, this is all there for the remainder theorem.
X1 plus X2 divided by 2.
When we had something related to midpoint and perpendicular bisector, I have A and B. Yeah,
Yeah.
M is the
Hmm. Midpoint.
A coordinates x1, y1, B coordinates x2, y2. To get the coordinates of the midpoint, what will you do?
X1 plus X2 divided by 2.
Y1 plus
Y2 divided by 2.
gradient of line AB,
Y2 minus Y1 divided by X2 minus X1.
distance of line AB,
Uh, X2 minus X1 plus
the whole square.
the whole squared minus Y2 minus Y1, the whole squared, and then the
Distance of
answer
line
is
AB will
square
be
root.
of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square.
Yeah.
Are you with me? This is all the
Yes.
things that we have done in the 2.1. So you know the equation of the circle. You don't know
Yeah.
completing squares. You know midpoint.
Yes.
You know the distance formula.
Yeah.
You know the radius.
Yes.
You know circle.
Yeah.
Suppose I have a point. This is the center. This is my radius.
Okay.
This is the tangent. What is the relationship
Hmm.
between the radius and the tangent?
The radius is going to be perpendicular to the tangent.
And what is the relationship between their gradients?
They both are going, the gradient of them are going to be -1
The
when
gradient of the
multiplied together.
radius multiplied by the gradient of the tangent is going to be equal to -1.
-1.
Okay, so you know everything about the equation of the circle. If my center
Yeah.
is 2 minus 3,
Hmm.
can you give me equation of the circle?
So it's going to be x minus 2 the whole squared plus y plus 3 the whole squared equal r squared.
Equal to r square. So